So would you guys be able to tell us where your headspace is at while you're creating this EP?
Well, I can comment that this was right after Guilty Pleasure came out. Um, one thing that was a positive when we were writing this was we felt like we had an idea of like the direction for the band, kind of like what like I think that like the every band always has like a moment where it's like, what is this band? It's like, what is Cheem? And after the response of Guilty Pleasure, we realized that we kind of have a better idea of who we were as a group. And I think this, to me, these songs are just an attempt at making that identity even more confident. Maybe you have some other thoughts too, Sky. There's a lot of shit that happened during
Yeah,
this
I
too.
mean, I think it was like going into Guilty Pleasure was like, well, people might not fuck with this, but we do, so whatever. But now it's like after getting a good response to Guilty Pleasure, it felt really good to go in, and I think it contributed to the confidence of like making this EP and the way that it sounds stronger because we were like, all right, well, I mean, we have a fan base that fucks with the Guilty Pleasure sound. Let's like make that bigger and better. And I don't know, it was a pretty straightforward approach. We just like got our shit together and made sure we were doing everything right from the get go. And every step of the process was like very affirming. It was like, okay, this sounds great. Okay, this sounds
Yeah,
great. Okay,
I think it was kind of like how Guilty Pleasure took how many years? Like
3 years. Yeah,
four
COVID
and a half,
contributed to that, but it was
3 years.
probably like, yeah.
We just did we took like the things we learned from Guilty Pleasure basically and just condensed it and made it more efficient, and we were able to churn out, albeit it's shorter, but not that much shorter than Guilty Pleasure, and still like the finished product that we think sounds really fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, how long? Like we tracked drums in June, and I finished the mix like early this year. So
Yeah.
it's like a half year process.
I think the short length of the EP like kind of became its own thing somewhere in the process where it goes into all these different stylistic directions. So you're kind of getting this full course in a really, really short length of time. And almost by design, it's meant to be listened to multiple times in a sitting, or multiple times in a day.
Yeah.
I think is a really unique aspect of it.
Absolutely. I think that it comes through that like this is you guys, like this EP, like you found what you're doing because we've been following you guys for so long. Cheem is just a band that bounces all over the place to begin with. But between Guilty Pleasures and now the EP, it's just like you guys know what you're doing. Even though the EP is still Cheem in the sense of it bounces all over the place, it is not one sound for the entire EP. It's like this is clearly what the band is meant to be making at this current point in time. So I respect that. Hell yeah.
I think we've kind of lost like some of like I don't want to say shock value of like us really changing genres. I think people should expect that, and I want people to expect that. I want people to not be phased that we have a really like heavy gent song right after a like garage type beat Jonas Brothers song. Like that should be what you expect from us.
Yeah.
Yeah.